On 10 February, Air Namibia on its social media pages announced that it would be suspending operations effective immediately. On 11 February, all aircraft was expected to fly back to the airline's base, no passenger flights were to operate, and clients were asked to request for refunds via email. The very next day, when our producers visited the airline's head office, a cloud of uncertainty were palpable at the airline's head office in Dr. W. Cool Street as employees vacated their offices. Government was expected to announce the voluntary liquidation of the airline shortly thereafter.
They should take back what they said about the liquidation. We need to keep going. This is our livelihood.
Well, they've got their reasons. They've got the information. Maybe they know more than we do. But I would say it was the wrong decision to make.
Now they put us in the street without informing us.
The news did not sit well with the National Union of Namibian Workers. More than 300 people took part in a demonstration led by NUNW to protest government's decision to voluntarily liquidate Air Namibia. At Zoo Park, Tukna and the Namibian Cabin Crew Union also staged a demonstration against the liquidation. They, however, did not take part in the march organized by the NUNW, and the reason cited was the federation is affiliated to the ruling party. In all three petitions, the demonstrators reiterated a call on government to review its decision to liquidate the national carrier. The Namibian Cabin Crew Union's president, Reginald Kok, claimed that the Line Ministry and the Cabinet have ignored alternative recommendations made by the union.
Is liquidation the last option? We are not in agreement. What about the proposals we put forth to you? What about scaling down the operations?
But government, on the other hand, says it could no longer afford to support Air Namibia financially as it pushes ahead with the voluntary liquidation on the airline.
It's a decision that was taken after a careful consideration of many options, looking at the economic situation, looking at the current situation with regard to the airline industry, looking at Air Namibia's debt, also considering options of partnering with other airlines.
The flag carrier's liabilities exceed its assets by almost $2 billion. Statements for the last 6 months indicate Air Namibia's assets to be $981 million, while liabilities shot up to $3 billion. Namibia will not be the only country without a flag carrier, though. Zambia Airways went out of business and ceased operations in 1994 due to mounting debts and losses as reason for liquidation. Many of the world's most prominent airlines, such as Lufthansa and British Airways, are no longer owned or even majority controlled by countries of origin. Some of these large airlines are partially privatized, with their respective governments still holding on to minority stakes. But what impact would the privatization have on the country's national carrier?
Privatization on its own, it's a good thing. Okay? But when you look at privatization in the context of an entity that is about to be liquidated, then it means something else. Now, my view is when it comes to Air Namibia, neither of the above is good right now, but we can take the lesser of the evil, which is privatization. You are going to inject the much needed funds and probably still retain some ownership of your asset, depending on whether it's full privatization or partial privatization.